Hey everyone and welcome back to Daily Tuition. In this tutorial, we are going to create this beautiful, complete, responsive portfolio website using Bootstrap. We are going to start with an empty project and build this complete website really from the beginning. This website is responsive for any devices. If you want to know how Bootstrap is very useful to create this type of website, then this tutorial is definitely for you. You're going to learn how to add this beautiful scrolling effect to these anchor tags using JavaScript, how to use this type.js library to add this beautiful typing effect to this text, and you will also understand how to make this sidebar menu completely responsive, and much more. So follow along with me to create this amazing website. So before we're getting late, let's get started. Now, as you can see, I just opened the Visual Studio Code editor, and inside it, I just opened the empty folder. I'm going to name that folder website. If you want, you can name this folder anything. Now to open the empty folder, just click on the files and click on this open folder. Once you open this empty folder inside this VS Code editor, we're going to start building this beautiful website. So let's get started and see how to build it. So I'm going to first create here asset folder to store all the images of this website. So I'm going to click on this new folder icon and create a folder assets. Inside this asset folder, we are going to store all the images which we are going to use in this website. So I'm going to just put all the images inside it. So I'm going to copy a few images and put that images inside this asset folder. So I'm going to just copy these images, Ctrl C to copy all these images, and I'm going to paste all these images inside this asset folder. So I'm going to say here Ctrl V. So I'm going to paste all these images inside my asset folder. So if you open your Visual Studio Code editor, you can notice in the asset folder, you have your different images. Now, just out of that, I'm going to create here a new file and name that file index.html. And just out of that, just out of this index.html, I'm going to create style.css. So I'm going to say here style.css. In the index.html, I'm going to create a simple HTML5 snippet, just like this. So I'm going to press exclamation mark, just like this, and press enter. So when I press enter, I'm going to have a simple HTML5 snippet, and I'm going to just change the title. I'm going to say here AKKI, just like this. And just out of that, just out of this title, I'm going to link this style.css. So I'm going to just call a simple link tag and just say here style.css. Save the changes. Now let me just zoom this up a little bit, just like this. Now before we move on, I just wanted to open the finished website in the browser, and then we will build each section one by one. So let me just open the finished website in the browser. Now, once I have my finished website, I'm going to start with this header. We will first create this beautiful side menu and then move to the main section of this website. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to first add Bootstrap to add predefined styling, and then we'll add different font family to this project. So I'm going to first open a new tab and just search for get Bootstrap, and I'm going to just click on this first get Bootstrap website, and I'm going to just get the current version of the Bootstrap. So I'm going to copy this CDN, copy this CSS file, and I'm going to paste this CSS file before this CSS link. So I'm going to paste this CSS right here. Just out of that, I'm going to copy these JS files and paste it just before this closing body tag right here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to open a new tab and just search for get fonts, and as you can notice, you have here Google Fonts. Just click on it, and from here you can get your favorite font, whatever you want. So I'm going to choose few fonts here and use that font in the website. So I'm going to first select my first font. So I'm going to select my first font, this one. I'm going to click on this plus icon to select this font. Then I'm going to select my second font, and I'm going to select this font family, and then I'm going to select my third font, this one. Now as you can see, I have your font family selected. Instead of using this link tag, I'm going to use import statement. So I'm going to copy this import statement and paste it inside the style sheet right here at the top. So now we can use all these fonts in this website. Now just out of that, save the changes, back to the index.html, and right here we're going to start with a header. So we're going to start with this header. So I'm going to first create this title of this website, then the name, and the home, about, services, portfolio, news, and contact us navigation links. So we'll first create a header section of this website and then move to the main section of this website. So I'm going to first say here comment. I'm going to add a simple HTML5 comment and say header area. I'm going to close this comment and I'm going to say here hash header area. So to indicate this is the closing comment, I'm going to just add here hash. Now inside this comment, I'm going to say header and I want to add ID to this header and I'm going to say here header 1, or you can just simply specify here header like this. Now just after that, in this header, I'm going to create a row. I'm going to have a simple columns. So I'm going to first create here col3. So this is my first column. So I'm going to specify 3 column space to this header. Just after that, I'm going to specify here inside this column, I'm going to create navigation tag and I'm going to specify class to it, primary nav. And when I press tab, I'm going to have a nav tag with the class primary nav. Now just after that, I'm going to specify a Bootstrap class here, navbar, expand, md. So now when the viewport is less than the medium size of devices, I want to just collapse this navbar to the left side. I want to hide this navigation menu. Now inside this navigation menu, I'm going to create a division tag and I want to specify class to it. So instead of adding div here, you can also directly say here site title. This will create a default division tag with the class site title. Along with that, I'm going to specify a Bootstrap class which is text center to center all the text, and text light to specify light color to the font. Just after that, I'm going to specify padding y5. So this will add top and bottom padding to this division tag. In this div, I'm going to create anchor tag and I want to specify class to it. So I'm going to specify class navbar brand, and just after that, I'm going to specify text which is this one. So I'm going to specify first 2 letters of my first and the last name. Just after that, I'm going to specify paragraph here, and to this paragraph, I'm going to specify class. Now I'm going to specify description class to this paragraph. Along with that, I'm going to specify text uppercase Bootstrap class. So this class is used to change the text to uppercase. So if you type here A, this will transform your letter uppercase just like this. Now, so I'm going to just say here my name, aka by, and just for that, I'm going to save all the changes. Save the changes and just open this file in the live server. If you don't know about live server, it is just an extension to open your file in the server. So whenever you make any changes, this will just reflect on your browser. So if you don't know what is live server, then just click on this extension tab and search for live server, just like this. And just install this extension in your VS Code editor. Once you install it, you can see an option here in the HTML file. When you right click here, you can see open with live server. Just click on it and open this HTML file in the live server. You can notice this will just open this file in the live server, and you can notice we have this name here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this horizontal scroll bar from the side. To remove this scroll bar, I just wanted to add margin 0 to this row class. So I'm going to say here margin 0. When I save the changes, this will remove this horizontal scroll, right? Just after that, I'm going to just move to the style.css and add some style to this section. So I'm going to just toggle this window just like this on the right side. Open this style.css file, and I'm going to first start with the body section. So we're going to start with the body section. So I'm going to first select the body, and I'm going to remove margin from the body. So I'm going to specify margin 0 and padding is going to be 0. So I'm going to remove margin and padding from the body section. Just after that, I'm going to create variables in the CSS. So I'm going to first select the root selector, and in the selector, I'm going to create a variable. So I'm going to specify double dash and specify the name for this variable. So I'm going to say here color black and specify value to this variable. So instead of using the value, I can specify this value using this variable. So I'm going to specify value to this variable. So I'm going to specify black value to this variable. I'm going to specify color white, and I'm going to just simply call here white color. Then I'm going to specify color border, and I just want to specify hex color here for the border, this one. And just out of that, I'm going to access this font using this variable. So I'm going to just say here font stat, and I'm going to specify the font family here. So I'm going to just back to my Google font. You can notice I'm going to have this font family. Just copy it and paste it here. Then I'm going to create my second font variable, font OS, and specify this font family to it. And just out of that, I'm going to just create third variable, which is font ram, and just copy this font family and paste it to this variable. So now instead of using these values, I can use this variable. So we don't need to remember these values. Instead, we need to remember this variable name, which we specify to these values. Now once I have all these variables, I'm going to just create here few global classes. So I'm going to create here a command and say global classes. We are going to use these global classes to specify font family and font size to the HTML. So instead of specifying individual styling for the element, for the HTML element, we're going to use these global classes for that. Let me show you how to do it. So in these global classes, I'm going to first create a class font stat, and in this class I'm going to say font normal, font width is going to be 400, font size is going to be 18 pixel, and I'm going to specify font family. So instead of specifying this font family name here, I'm going to just say font stat. So now instead of using this name, I'm going to use this variable. So I'm going to have this value right here. Now we can call this class as a global class because we can use this class anywhere in the HTML file. And using this class, I'm going to specify this font family to the HTML element. So I'm going to do the same for these two font family as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this class, paste it down here. So I'm going to just select this class and just press Shift Alt down. So this will duplicate this class. Just out of that, I'm going to change the name of this class and just say here font OS. Then I'm going to change this class to font ram, and I want to change this font family as well. So I'm going to just say here OS. I'm going to specify font OS here and font ram, just like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this font width. I'm going to specify here 300, and for this font ram I'm going to specify bold. Save the changes, and now let me show you how to use these global fonts in the HTML. So I'm going to just open my HTML file, and let me just open my website, and let me just show you how to use these fonts. So I'm going to just change this font family of this text. So I'm going to just specify here to this navbar brand class, I'm going to just specify here font, and I'm going to call this class stat. So I'm going to just specify this class here, just like this. Save the changes, and you can see I have this font family to this text, right? Just out of that, I can specify different font family to this paragraph as well. So I'm going to just back to my style.css, and I'm going to just use this font here. I'm going to just use this font and specify this font to this paragraph. So I'm going to simply use this global class here, just like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify black color to this header section, just like this. So you can notice here I have black color to this sidebar menu. So I'm going to just specify this black color using style.css. I'm going to back to my style.css, and here I'm going to create a global class. So I'm going to just specify here a name for this class, bg color black, and specify black color to it. So I'm going to specify background color and specify value color black. this one. So I'm going to call a variable color black here. And now I'm going to specify this class to this header. So I'm going to specify this class right here to this column, right? Now to this column, I'm going to specify that class, bg color black. When I save the changes, this will specify the black color to this column. As simple as that. Just after that, I want to just increase the size of this text. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to simply back to my style.css and create here global classes. I'm going to simply create here a class, font size, and specify font size here 40. So this class is used to specify 40 pixel font size to the text. So I'm going to specify here font size 40, and I'm going to say here font size is going to be 40 pixel. I'm going to do the same, copy this class, paste it down here, do the same, and just change this font size, and I'm going to say here 34. This became 34. Then for this third global class, I'm going to specify font size 27. Change this property, value is going to be 27. Then I'm going to specify here 20. Change this value to 20, and this became 16. And I'm going to specify font size 16. So I'm going to save all the changes and use these classes. Now if you want to use this global font size class, this one, you just need to copy it or just specify this class to the HTML text. So I'm going to just specify this class to this title. So I'm going to specify here in the class attribute, I'm going to specify font size 40. Save the changes. As you can notice, this will just change the size of this text. Now just after that, I'm going to just move and create navigation links. So just out of this division tag, right here, I'm going to create dflex flex column class. Now I'm going to use this Bootstrap class to specify display flex property, and this class is used to specify display direction columns. So whatever I put inside this div will display on the new line. So inside this div, I'm going to specify anchor tag, and I'm going to just specify anchor tag here and specify text. I'm going to specify home. So this is my first navigation menu, and save the changes. When I save the changes, you can see I have this home here. Now just after that, I'm going to specify some class to it, to this anchor tag. I'm going to specify here now item. Then I'm going to specify now link. Save the changes. This will add some padding and remove the border from this anchor tag. Just after that, I'm going to specify Bootstrap class text white 50. So this will just change the text color of this navigation link. Now just after that, I'm going to specify my own global classes to it. So I'm going to specify here font OS, which is used to specify font family. Then I'm going to specify font size is going to be 16. I'm going to specify 16 font size to this text, just like this. And I'm going to specify active class, which is a Bootstrap class. Just not that, I'm going to copy this anchor tags. So I'm going to press Shift Alt down key to duplicate this anchor tag, just like this. And then I'm going to change this text and say here about. And this became services, and this became portfolio. This became news, and this became contact us. Now as you can notice, we have different navigation links here. If you want to create more than that, you can do that as well. I'm going to remove this last anchor tag and save the changes. Now as you can notice, I have these navigation links. Just out of that, I'm going to specify some style to this navigation links. So I'm going to open the style.css, and down here I'm going to close this global classes. So I'm going to say here global classes, and down here I'm going to style this header section. To style this header section, I'm going to simply select the header tag. So I'm going to select the header using the header ID, this one. You can notice here we just specify this ID to this header. We use this ID in the style sheet right here, And just out of that, I'm going to select the nav tag. And to this nav tag, I'm going to specify height, which is 100 viewport height. So I'm going to specify unit VH. It means I'm going to specify viewport height to this navigation menu. When I save the changes, you can see this will just take the height of the viewport. Now just for that, I'm going to just specify some color and letter spacing to this navigation brand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply select header, then I'm going to select site title, and then select navbar brand class. You can notice here we have this navbar brand class to this anchor tag, this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify letter spacing to it. Letter spacing is going to be 2 pixel. This will add some letter spacing to this navbar brand. Now just after that, I just want to specify color to this navbar brand. So I'm going to specify color, and I want to call a variable here which is color white, this one. Save the changes, and this will just change the color of this navbar brand. Just after that, I'm going to select all these links. So I'm going to select the header again, and inside it I'm going to have navbar nav class, and inside it I'm going to have nav link. You can notice we have this nav link class to these anchor tags. Oops, I don't have this navbar nav class, so I'm going to remove it. And you can notice just out of this header, I'm going to have this nav link class. So to this nav link, inside this header, I'm going to specify some margin. So I'm going to say here margin 0.7 rem to the top and bottom, and 1 rem to the left and right. Save the changes. This will add some margin to this navigation links. Just after that, I'm going to specify border bottom 1 pixel solid, and I want to specify my variable color border. So I'm going to specify that variable here. When I save the changes, you can see we have this border to this navigation links. Just out of that, I'm going to specify text transform is going to be uppercase. So this will just convert all the lowercase letters in the uppercase. When I save the changes, you can notice this will convert all the letters in the uppercase. Just out of that, I'm going to create hover effect on these links. So I'm going to simply copy this selector, paste it down here, and create here hover effect. And I'm going to specify color to it, and I'm going to call white color. So I'm going to call here color white. Save the changes. And now when you hover on these links, oops, you're not going to get anything here, because Bootstrap will not allow you to easily change the color of their own classes. So instead of just using the value, we can use important keyword here. So we are forcing Bootstrap to use this value instead of using their own. Now you can notice we have the sidebar. Now just out of that, I'm going to move to index.html file. Now as you can notice, if you just take a closer look at your header, then you can notice the header is not completely responsive. If you open your inspect tool by pressing Ctrl+Shift+I, this will open the inspect tool, and by clicking on this toggle device toolbar icon, you can notice this sidebar menu is not responsive. So we need to make this sidebar completely responsive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my index.html, and just out of this row, before this closing header, I'm going to add here a button and specify class to it, toggle button. You can specify any class name to this button, that's upon you. I'm going to specify spawn tag inside it, and to this spawn tag, I'm going to just call a class, and using this class, I'm going to call font awesome icon. I'm going to link the font awesome icon CDN to this index.html file, and then just add icon here inside this button. So I'm going to just open a new tab and just see here font awesome icon, and I'm going to just see here font awesome icon CDN. And from the cdnjs.com, right from here, I'm going to just copy this all.mean.js file, just copy the script tag and paste it at the bottom of your HTML file right here before the closing body tag, right here, just like this. Just out of that, in the spawn tag, I'm going to simply call a class to add icon in it. I'm going to call fas fa bars and save the changes. When I save the changes, you can notice I have this icon here at the bottom. I'm going to just specify, I'm going to just increase the size of this icon, and I'm going to just specify here FA to X class, which is the font awesome class, to increase the size of the icon. This will increase the size of this icon just like this. And now just start this button right down here. I'm going to create a division tag with the class social, and inside it I'm going to have a different social icons. So in the span tag, I'm going to specify class and specify margin right 3. So this will add right margin to this span tag, and inside it I'm going to add I tag with the class fab FA Facebook F. So this will add Facebook icon inside this website. When I save the changes, you can notice I have this icon here. Now let me just add a few more icons. I'm going to copy this statement, paste it down here just like this, and change these classes to add different icons. I'm going to call here Twitter. I'm going to call this Facebook to Instagram, and specify here YouTube, just like this. When I save the changes, I'm going to have all this icon here. You can see I have all these icons at the bottom of this header. Now once I have these social icons and this button, you can notice when I scroll down, this navigation menu is also scrolling. I don't want to scroll this navigation menu. Instead, I want to fix this navigation menu at the left side of the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify position fix to this header. So I'm going to simply back to my style.css file. Top here, I'm going to simply first select the header using the ID header, and I'm going to specify position, which is fixed. Then top is going to be 0. Save the changes. Then I'm going to specify left is going to be 0, and I'm going to specify width, and the width is going to be 100%. Now just out of that, I'm going to specify Z index. It's going to be 9999. I want this navigation menu at the top layer of the position, so that is why I specify here this property. Just out of that, I'm going to specify transition left, and I'm going to specify 0.5 second ease. So when I change the left property of this navigation menu, I'm going to have a beautiful transition effect on this navigation. That is why I specify this transition property. Now just out of that, let's move on and specify styling to this button, to this toggle button. So I'm going to just back to this style.css, and right down here I'm going to first select the header using the header ID, and then select toggle button. Just out of that, I'm going to specify background to this toggle button is going to be none. I don't want to specify any background to this button. Then I'm going to specify color is going to be black. So I'm going to specify color black variable, and just out of that I'm going to specify position fixed. Just out of that I'm going to specify top 25 pixel, and right is going to be 20 pixel. When I save the changes, you can notice we have this toggle button here, and I'm going to just specify here border is going to be 1 pixel solid, and specify border color. So I'm going to specify my variable color border. Save the changes. You can notice I have this button here. Now using this button, I'm going to make this navigation menu responsive. So when we just change the viewport, just like this, I want to just make this navigation menu responsive. So what we are going to do is we're going to get the help from the jQuery and make this sidebar responsive. I'm going to just open my index.html. I'm going to just open the Explorer, and right here I'm going to create a new file and name that file index.js. So I'm going to use a JavaScript file to make this sidebar responsive. Now once I have this file, I'm going to link this file to the index.html right up here, just after this all.mean.js file, just before this closing body tag. I'm going to just add a script tag with the source attribute, and I'm going to link the index.js file. Save the changes, back to the index.js, And right here, I'm going to first add the jQuery document.ready function. So I'm going to call here document.ready and call the function here a simple function, just like this, right? So when the document is completely ready, I'm going to execute this function. Now inside this function, I'm going to first create a variable win and store an object. So I'm going to call here jQuery object and just say window. So I'm going to store window object inside this jQuery variable. Just out of that, I'm going to create jQuery variable navbar and just call a selector and simply see here header. So I'm going to just store header inside this navbar variable. Just out of that, I'm going to create toggle variable, get the toggle button using jQuery, just like this, toggle button. So I'm going to call a class toggle button inside this jQuery object and store this inside this variable. And the last, I'm going to create a JavaScript variable. So I'm going to call var width and I'm going to store width inside this variable, and I'm going to store the navbar width inside this width variable. So I'm going to simply call here navbar dot width. When I call this method, I have the width of this navbar inside this width variable. Now when the viewport is less than 768 pixel, I want to hide this navigation menu. So I'm going to simply use left property to slide this navigation menu on the left side. So I'm going to simply use this left property to move this sidebar on the left side. So I'm going to just open the index.html and right here I'm going to create a function. So just after this document.ready function, I'm going to create here a pure JavaScript function. So I'm going to create here a function and just call name for this function is toggle on click. And to this function, I'm going to specify parameter. I'm going to first specify window. So I'm going to call here jQuery parameter win. Then I'm going to specify navbar and I'm going to specify width. And just out of that, inside this function, I'm going to say if window dot width, if the window width is less than or equal to 768 pixel, then I want to select the header. So I'm going to select the header using navbar dot css and I'm going to just specify css property, and using the left property of the css, I'm going to just slide this navigation menu to the left side, and right here to the left property I'm going to specify value. So I'm going to simply specify the width of this navbar to this left property. So when the left property is specified to this navigation menu, this will automatically slide to the left side. So if I specify here, for example, if I just specify here minus 200 pixel, and just out of that I'm going to just call this function up here and I'm going to say toggle click and just specify these values. So we need to specify parameter values to this function. So I'm going to simply specify here win, then specify navbar and then specify width. Save the changes. So you can notice the sidebar is automatically slide to the left side when the viewport is less than 768 pixel or equal to 768 pixel. I'm going to just increase the size of the viewport, reload the browser. You can notice I have the sidebar here, but when the viewport is less than 768 pixel, the sidebar will automatically move to the left side. Let me just show you. When I decrease the size and when I reach to 768 pixel and when I reload the browser, you can notice the sidebar will automatically move to the left side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use window resize method. So when I resize the size of this window, I want to make this sidebar responsive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call here resize event. So I'm going to simply call here window object and call resize event, and inside it I'm going to call a function, and to this function I'm going to simply call toggle click and just call all these properties. So I'm going to copy this function, paste it down here, and save the changes. And when I change the viewport and when we reach 768 pixel, the sidebar will automatically move to the left side because of this resize event. Now, I don't want to just specify this hard-coded value to this left property. I'm going to specify here with variable, this one. So instead of specifying this double quote, I'm going to call here template string. So I'm going to just simply call tilde operator here and specify minus, and in the dollar symbol in the curly braces I'm going to call width, and don't forget to specify pixel unit to this width. As simple as that. And just for that I'm going to call the else statement, and in the else statement what I want, I'm going to just specify navbar dot css, and I want to specify left property 0 pixel. So I'm going to just specify default value to this navigation menu if the viewport is greater than 768 pixel. Save the changes, and now you can notice if the viewport is greater than 768 pixel, I'm going to have the navigation menu, right? And if the viewport is less than 768 pixel, the menu will move automatically to the left side. You can notice the menu is now ready and it's completely responsive. Now what if the viewport is less than 768 pixel and I want to just access the menu? In that case, I'm going to click on this toggle button. When I click on this toggle button, I want to access this menu. I'm going to create a new event for this toggle button. So I'm going to simply create here a new event, and I'm going to say here toggle on click. So when I click on this toggle button, I'm going to call this function, this handler function, and just call here navbar dot toggle class, and I want to add toggle left class to this navbar when I click on this toggle button. As you can notice, we don't have this class yet, so let me just create this class in the style.css. So I'm going to first save this file, and in the style.css at the bottom I'm going to create toggle left, and to this class we need to just simply specify left 0, and to override the default property specify important keyword, and just save the changes. Now when you click on this toggle button, you can see you have your navigation menu. Now I want to just increase the width of this navigation menu, so I'm going to simply specify here width is going to be 1000 pixel. We need to just specify important keyword here as well. Save the changes. So now you can access this navigation menu on the medium size of devices as well. As simple as that. Now let's move on and see how to create this main section of this website. So let's see how to do it. I'm going to just close this inspect tool, and in the main section in the index.html, I'm going to create here a main tag. So I'm going to just minimize this header, and right here I'm going to create main section of this website. But before I do it, I'm going to just close these unwanted tabs right from here, and now we'll just create the main section of this website. So I'm going to first create here a main tag, and to this main tag I'm going to specify ID. So I'm going to specify here ID is going to be site main, and inside this main tag I'm going to have these different sections. Now let me show you how to create these beautiful sections inside this main tag. Let me show you how you can create this beautiful main section of this website. So we can start with this beautiful background image. As you can notice, we just specify this beautiful background image to this main section, and at the center I'm going to specify the profile picture, the name, and the profession. You can notice when I reload the browser, I have this beautiful typing effect to this text. I will show you how to do that after a few minutes. But just for now, let's move on, and the next section is going to be the About Me section, where we have the profile picture, then our name, description, birth date, website, phone number, and other meaningful information. Just after that, we have the Ability section. in the ability section, we're going to specify the different skills we have, and we can describe all the skills using the progress bar. Just after that, we have the services section where we can display all the services which we are going to provide. Then we have the references, and then we have the creative works. You can display all your creative works in this creative works section. And the last, we have the latest news and the photo section. In the photo section, we have the address, phone number, fax, email, and then we have the mailbox. And the bottom, we have the name and the social icons. Now, before we move on and create this main section, did you notice where is the social icons of this header? We added the social icons in the header. If you open your website, in the header section, you can notice we have these social icons. Now you can't see the social icons here. This is because we specify fixed property to this header. The social icons is hide behind this header. So what you need to do is, you just need to get these social icons and display the social icons down here. I already added the social icons, so you just need to get the social icons and display them down here. Once you display all the social icons down here, just take a screenshot of this web page and send me on my Instagram ID, or you can just send me on the Patreon page. Now let's move on and see how to create this beautiful main section of this website. So I'm going to just minimize this header, and in the main section, I'm going to just first create a new section. I'm going to just first create a new row. So I'm going to create a division tag with the class row, and I'm going to remove the margin from this row class. So I'm going to specify M0. This will remove the margin from this row. Then I'm going to add here a division tag with the class call MD9. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to specify 9 column space to this main section. We know that we specify 3 column space to this header. You can notice here, I'm just specifying 3 column space to this header and 9 column space to this main section. Let me just open my website, and right here what I'm going to do is, in this division tag right here, I'm going to create a new section. So I'm going to create here a comment, specify a comment here which is site banner area, and I'm going to just close this comment to indicate this is the closing site banner. So I'm going to say here site banner area. Now in this comment, I'm going to create a section tag and specify class to it. I'm going to specify class to it, site banner. Along with that, I'm going to specify ID home. I will describe why I use ID for this section later in this course, but just for now, just specify ID for this section. Then in this section, I'm going to add division tag, and I want to add a banner area class to it. In the banner area, I'm going to simply add author section, where we have the profile picture and the name and the profession. So I'm going to simply add here author, and I want to center all the text. So I'm going to say text center. I'm going to use the Bootstrap class text center, and then I'm going to add here a division tag with the class author img. Just after this div, I'm not going to add anything inside this div. Instead, just after this div, I'm going to create h1 heading tag, and I'm going to specify different classes to it. So first, I'm going to specify here my name, and to this h1 heading tag, I'm going to specify class. So the first class I will specify is text white. This will just specify white color to this text. Then I'm going to specify my global classes. So I'm going to specify my font stat. This will change the font family of this text, and the font size is going to be 40. So this will change the size of this text. So I'm going to use my global class here, font size 40, and change the size of this text. Just after that, I want to just convert this lowercase text into uppercase. So I'm going to just use text uppercase class. And what I want to add some padding to it. So I'm going to add padding by 3. So this will add top and bottom padding to this text. Just after that, I'm going to add here h5 heading tag, and I'm going to just add here a few classes to it. So I'm going to specify class text height to change the font color, then specify font ram, the font family. So I'm going to specify the global class to it, font ram, and the font size is going to be 27. You can notice we have this font family and this font ram class in the style.css file. You can find the global classes here. Now just sort that in this h5 union tag, I'm going to simply say I am, and in the span tag I'm going to add typing effect. So in the span tag you just need to add here id typed. So using this typed id, I'm going to access this span tag and create this beautiful typing effect, this one, right? So I'm going to just add here a span tag and just specify id typed. Now I'm going to just save all the changes and just back to the style.css, and when I specify background image to it, you can see all the text in the main section. So down here I'm going to style this section. Now the styling of this main section is very simple. I'm going to just open the style.css file, and down here I'm going to create a command and just say site content. So this is the main section. I'm going to say site main instead of content, and just close this command like this, site main. So I'm going to put all the main content CSS styling inside this command. Now I'm going to first select the site content class and select the banner area. I'm going to simply select the site content class. Oops, it's the site banner actually. Yeah, the site banner, and then I'm going to select the banner area, and to this banner area I'm going to first specify background image. So I'm going to first select the background, and in the URL I'm going to simply specify the path of the image. So I'm going to select the banner image.jpg file here, and if you want to specify no repeat, you can do that right here. Then background size is going to be cover. Save the changes. You can see we have the background image here. Just start that. I'm going to just specify here width is going to be 100% and height is going to be 100 viewport height. So keep in mind, you just need to specify here VH, which is the viewport height. So the background image will take the size of the viewport. So when I save the changes, you can notice we have the image here. Now what I want to just add some space to this main section from the left side, right from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply open the index.html, and to this column, you know that we just use colMD9 class. So we have 9 column space to this division tag. I want to leave 3 column space from the left, right from here. So I'm going to just use here offset MD3. So this will just leave 3 column space from the left side. When I save the changes, you can notice this will just leave 3 column space from the left side. I'm going to just remove some margin and padding from the left and from the right section of this main section. So I'm going to just add here to this column, I'm going to specify padding X 0. So I'm going to remove left and right padding from the main section, just like this. Now I just wanted to add the profile picture and I want to center this text. So I'm going to back to my style.css, and down here I'm going to simply first select the site banner, then I'm going to select the banner area, and then select author. So I'm going to select this author division tag. Now inside this author I'm going to specify style. So I'm going to first remove all the margin from it. So I'm going to specify margin 0, then specify position, which is absolute, then specify top property is going to be 45% and left is going to be 50%. Just after that I'm going to save all the changes, and the last I'm going to add transform translate, and to center this text and the image I'm going to say -50%, and I'm gonna say minus 50%. Save the changes, and now you can see the text is now at the center of this document. At the last, I'm going to just specify here position relative to this banner area. So this absolute path is relative to this banner area. Save the changes, and just out of that, what I want to add here a profile picture. So I'm going to just simply select this author img class. So I'm going to just open style.css, and down here I'm going to copy this selector, paste it down here, and I'm going to select author img. And to this author img, I'm going to first specify width, which is 200 pixel, and height is 200 pixel. Then border radius is going to be 50%. Then I'm going to specify margin is going to be auto, and then I'm going to specify background, and to the background I'm going to specify my image in the URL. So in the URL, I'm going to simply specify the asset folder and the about.jpg file. To specify no repeat, you can do that right here, no repeat. And the last, I'm going to specify background size, which is 200%. Let me just remove this property and show you the result first. Save all the changes. You can see we have the image here, but where is the face of this profile? What I'm going to do is I'm going to simply specify here background size is going to 200%. When you save the changes, you have the face here, right? Just out of that, you need to adjust the position of this image. So you just need to specify here background position and 40% from the left, right, and 0 for the top and bottom. I'm going to specify 40% to the left and right and 0 for the top and bottom. Save the changes. You can see the image is now centered. Just out of that, let me show you how you can add this beautiful typing effect to this text. It's very simple actually to add this typing effect to this text. So now if you want to create this beautiful typing effect, you just need to open a new tab and search for typed.js. When you search for it, you can notice you're going to have this GitHub repo, and right from here you can download the type.js project. So you just need to click on this clone or download, and just click on this download zip to download this project. I already have it, so I'm not going to download it again. So let me just open this project. Now once you download that project and extract it, you have the file structure something like this. So now we just need to find out the lab folder, this one, and in this folder you just need to copy this JavaScript minified file and put it inside your project. So I'm going to just copy this file, and in the project I'm going to create a new folder. So I'm going to simply create here a new folder, vendor, and inside this folder I'm going to create another folder and name that folder typed. And inside this folder I'm going to paste that type.me.js file, this minified version of the type.js project. I'm going to just back to my website. If you wanted to find out more about this project, you can just scroll down and get more information about this project right from here, from this Git repo. Now I'm going to just close these tabs, back to my project, and right here you can notice I have this vendor folder and I have this type.me.js file. I'm going to just first link this file to my project. So I'm going to just open the index.html, and down here just before this closing index.js, I'm going to just add a script tag and link the vendor folder and the typed and the type.me.js file. Now just after that, you just need to open the index.js, your custom JavaScript file, and down here I'm going to simply create a variable, JavaScript variable typed, and I'm going to simply specify object to it, and I'm going to say here new, and we need to create here type object, and in this type object, in the parentheses in the single quote, you need to specify the ID of your span tag. So we know that we specify ID to the span tag typed. copy it and use that inside this single quote. So use hash here and specify your ID. Just out of that, to the second parameter, you need to specify different properties to it. So I'm gonna specify all the properties in the curly braces. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna specify strings to this type.js. So as you can notice in the finished website, we have the freelancer and the web developer string to this type.js. So I'm going to simply specify that using a simple property called strings. So to the strings property, you need to specify both these values in the array. So in the bracket, just specify here web developer. If you want, you can specify any text to it. Then I'm going to specify freelancer, and just after that, just after this array, I'm going to specify comma here and specify a new property which is type speed, and I'm going to adjust the speed of this typing and specify here 50, and I can also adjust the back speed. So I'm going to say back speed 50. Save the changes and back to the website, and now you can see you have your beautiful tapping effect to it. Now what if you want to loop this typing effect? You can simply add the loop property to it. So you can simply add here loop true. When I save the changes, this will automatically looped and you don't need to worry about anything. As you can notice, the section is now ready. Let's move on to the next section, and the section is all about ourselves. To create this beautiful section, just back to the index.html, and on here I'm going to create a simple command, an HTML command, and I'm going to add here about me area. I'm going to close this command to indicate this is the closing about me section. So I'm going to say about me area and just specify hash here. Now to create this about me section, you just need to first create here a section tag and specify a few classes to it. So I'm going to first specify about class, and then I'm going to add some padding to it. So I'm going to add padding X. So this will add left and right padding to this section. I'm going to add Bootstrap class padding X4 and also add Bootstrap class margin Y 5. So this will add top and bottom margin to this section. Now inside this section, I'm going to add a division tag with the class me. Along with that, I'm going to add padding Y 5. Now inside this me division tag, I'm going to simply add h5 heading tag and specify text information. Save the changes, back to the website, and down here you can notice we have this information text here. Just out of that, I'm going to specify some class to it. The class is going to be text uppercase. This will just convert this lowercase text into uppercase. When I save the changes, you can notice, oops, uppercase, yes, the spelling is wrong. That's right, uppercase. So this will just convert this text into uppercase. Then I'm going to specify font OS, and font size is going to be 16. Save the changes. This will just specify the font size and font family to this text. Now I want to change the color of this text, so I'm going to simply use the Bootstrap class text muted. This will change the color of this text. Now just out of that, just out of this h5 heading tag, I'm going to add h1 heading tag and specify text to it about me. Then I'm going to simply add a class to it, and the class is going to be text uppercase. Then I'm going to just use text uppercase. Then I'm going to use a font stat, which is a global class, and font size is going to be 34. Save the changes. You can see we have the font family, font size, and we just converted this lowercase text into uppercase. Now, just after this division tag, I'm going to create here a new row and I want to remove margin from it. So I'm going to say margin 0 and create 2 columns here. So the first column, I'm going to specify width to it for the first column. So I'm going to say here col SM 5. So I'm going to specify 5 column space to the first column, and I'm going to create another column with col SM 6. So I'm going to specify 6 column space to the second division tag. Or you can say we are going to specify 6 column space to the second column. Now in the first column, we specified 5 column space. I'm going to just specify padding also. So I'm going to remove padding left from it. Padding left is going to be 0. Then I'm going to just add here image tag and I'm going to choose my profile image here. So in the source attribute, I'm going to select asset where we have all the images. Then I'm going to select about.jpg file. And I'm going to say here profile image. Save the changes. You can notice you have your image here. Now you just need to make this image responsive. So you need to add a class here to this image, img fluid, which is a Bootstrap class to make this image responsive. Save the changes. This will make this image responsive like this. And in the second column, in the col SM6, we specify 6 column space to this division tag. And in this div, I'm going to simply add h6 heading tag and specify about me. And just out of that, I'm going to add some classes to it. So I'm going to simply add class text uppercase and specify font OS, and font size is going to be 16. Along with that, I'm going to specify Bootstrap class text muted, which will change the color of this text. Save the changes. You can notice we have this about me text here. Just out of that, I'm going to create here h5 heading tag, and to this h5 heading tag, I'm going to simply say I am, specify name of yourself. And just out of that, if you want to add typing effect, you can add that in the h5 heading tag as well. So you just need to add here a span tag and specify ID to it, so you can easily access this span tag. So I'm going to say here typed 2, just like this. Save the changes. You can notice we have this text here. Now in the index.js file, I'm going to copy this type object, paste it down here, change this variable. I'm going to say type 2. If you want to use the reference of this object, you can use this variable. That's upon you. Now what you need to do is you just need to change this ID. So you know that we specify here ID type 2. Just use it to this second object, and I'm going to just leave everything as it is. If you want, you can change this text as well. I'm going to leave it as it is. Save everything. Back to the index.html, and if I open my website, you can notice I have this beautiful typing effect to it. Now what I want to specify some font family to this h5 heading tag. So I'm going to specify class to it, and I'm going to specify font ram, then specify font size is going to be 20, and I'm going to add padding y 2. So this will add top and bottom padding to this h5 heading tag. Save the changes. This will change the font family of this text. Now just out of that, I'm going to just simply add description about ourselves in the paragraph. So just out of this h5 heading tag, I'm going to add a paragraph here. And before I add anything inside this paragraph, I'm going to specify class to it and specify font ram and text black 50. And I want to add padding y 2. And in this paragraph, I'm going to add some demo text. So I'm going to copy demo text and paste it inside this paragraph, just like this. You can add any text here, that's upon you. So just out of this paragraph, when you save the changes, you can notice you have your paragraph here. Now, just out of this paragraph, we are going to add some more information about ourselves. So I'm going to just back to my website, open the index.html, and just out of this paragraph, I'm going to add here dflex flex row, and I'm going to add flex wrap. Now, if I want to simply describe these classes, then I'm going to simply say this class will specify display flex property to this div, this class will specify display direction row, and this class will make this division tag responsive. Just out of that, I'm going to just specify here inside this division tag, I'm going to add another div and specify dflex flex column. So as you can notice, we use this class to put everything in the row, and we use this class, this flex class, to put everything in the new row. So we use this flex column to put everything in the new row, and we use this flex row to put everything in the same row. Now, in this div, I'm going to add a paragraph with the class font wrap, and inside it, I'm going to simply add b tag to bold this text and just say here birth date. So I'm going to say here birthday, and you can just specify your birthday here. In the span tag, I'm going to say here 29 August 1990. Now this is not my actual birth date, this is just a demo text. When I save the changes, you can notice I have here birth date. Now what I'm going to do is, to this span tag, this one, I'm going to specify class, and I'm going to say text black 50. If you want to add some space, you can add this space right here as well. Just like this will add some space. If you want to display your website address, you can do that right here. Just duplicate this line by pressing Shift Alt down key, change this birth date, and just change it to website, and just specify your website address here. I'm going to specify my website address, www.dailywebtuition.com. Then the third one, I'm going to specify my phone number. So here I'm going to just add some demo text. So I'm going to add here +1 650 444 0000. Save the changes. You can notice we have the website address and the phone number. We are going to do the same for the degree, the mail address, and the Instagram ID as well. So I'm going to just copy this column and paste it down here just after this division tag. Right down here, I'm going to paste that division tag again, change this birth date to degree, specify your degree here, master, then change this website to mail. You can specify your mail address, and I'm going to just get rid of this website and just specify the mail address here. So I'm going to just specify the demo text here. Then the phone number, I'm going to get rid of this phone number and specify Instagram ID. So I'm going to just specify my actual Instagram ID here. So @2013. So this is my actual Instagram ID. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on this ID. Now save the changes, back to the website, and you can notice the section is now ready. Now what I want to add some space between these columns. So I'm going to just back to the website, and right up here, I'm going to just specify justify content between. So this is the Bootstrap class used to specify space between two columns. So we have space between two columns, as simple as that. Just after that, I want to add some padding to it. So I'm going to specify padding y 4, save the changes. This will add some padding to the top and bottom. And just out of that, I'm going to add these two buttons here. So I'm going to simply add this button down here. Just out of this division tag, right down here, I'm going to create two buttons. So I'm going to simply add here button and specify class to it. Oops. Specify class to this button, btn dark, and text uppercase. And I'm going to specify margin right 3 to this button. And I'm going to say here, hire me. Along with that, I'm going to copy this button down here, change this text, and I'm going to say here, download CV. Save the changes. When you save the changes, you can notice we have these buttons here. Now you can notice the About Me section is now completely ready. Let's move on to the next section. In the next section, we have the skill section. So let me show you how to create this beautiful ability section. So let me just back to my index.html, minimize this About Me and this site banner section, and down here, I'm going to create this beautiful ability section. Now to create this ability section, this one, in the index.html, I'm going to just first add a comment and just say ability, or you can just add a skill here. And then I'm going to create here a closing comment and say ability. I'm going to just simply add a section tag and specify class to it, skill, or you can just add a class ability, whatever you want. Then to this class, I'm going to specify padding X 4. So this will add left and right padding to this section. Then I'm going to specify padding Y 5. So this will add top and bottom padding to this section. Then I'm going to specify division tag inside this section, and I'm going to create a div with the class ability, and to this div I'm going to simply specify padding Y is going to be 3. So I'm going to specify top and bottom padding to this division tag, and in this div I'm going to just copy this h5 and h1 heading tag from this About Me area section. So I'm going to copy this h5 and h1 heading tag, paste it inside this div, change this text, and I'm going to say here ability, and this became my skill. Save the changes, back to the website, and you can notice you have the ability and my skill. I'm going to just add these two paragraphs just after this division tag. So just out of this div, I'm going to first add row. So in this row, I'm going to create 2 columns. So for the first column, I'm going to specify 6 column space to this paragraph. So I'm going to specify equal width to both these columns. So I'm going to say here col sm6 and create another column col sm6. So I'm going to specify 6 column space to both these division tags. In the first div, I'm going to first specify padding to the left side and specify padding left 4. In the first div right here, I'm going to create a paragraph and specify classes to it. So I'm going to first specify font ram, which is a global class, then specify font size is going to be 16, and change the color of the text. So I'm going to say text black 50. And in the paragraph, I'm going to add some demo text. So I'm going to copy some text and paste it inside this paragraph. Save the changes. You can notice I have this paragraph here. I'm going to do the same for the second paragraph as well. Copy this paragraph, paste it down here, save all the changes, and you can notice you have the paragraph here. And if you want to add padding to this first paragraph, just specify that padding right here, padding bottom 4, or you can specify 3. Save the changes. This will add padding between this paragraph. Now just out of that, to the next column, I'm going to add these Bootstrap sliders. So I'm going to simply open the column 6, the second column, and to the second column I'm going to add these progress bars. So I'm going to just back to my second column, and right here I'm going to just specify class to it, to the second column bars. So whenever you want to access this division tag, you can access this div with this class. Then I'm going to create here a division tag with the class bar1, and in this div I'm going to create the flex flex row, and inside it I'm going to create a paragraph and say developer. Just out of that, I'm going to create a span tag here and say 90%. Save the changes. You can notice you have your developer here and the 90% text. I'm going to just add some space between these two elements. So I'm going to add here justify content between. When I save the changes, this will add some space between these elements. Then for the paragraph, I'm going to specify class font ram, and the font size is going to be 16. And then for the span tag, I'm going to specify class font ram, and font size is also going to be 16. Save the changes, and you can see we have this font size to this developer. Just out of that, just after this div down here, I'm going to add a Bootstrap progress bar. So I'm going to simply add here a division tag with the class progress. Now keep in mind, I'm using this Bootstrap progress class here. Now just out of that, in this div, I'm going to create another div with the class progress bar. And I'm going to specify role to it. The role is going to be progress bar. Then I'm going to specify style. And in the style, I'm going to specify width is going to be 90%. Save the changes. You can notice I have the progress bar here, the Bootstrap progress bar. I'm going to just make some changes in it. So I'm going to add a class to it. To this progress bar, I'm going to add a class bg color black. Save the changes. This will add a black color to this progress bar. And then I'm going to just decrease the height of this progress bar. So to this division tag, I'm going to add here style and say height is going to be 3 pixels. Save the changes. This will just decrease the size of this progress bar. Now as you can see, your progress bar is now ready. Now you can just copy this division tag. Let me show you. If I just copy this bar, paste it down here, then I'm going to have my second scale, right? I'm going to just change this developer to Photoshop, and the percentage I'm going to specify is 80%. I'm going to just change this width as well to this progress bar. I'm going to say here 80%, just like this. Save the changes. You can see we have the 80% Photoshop scale here. Then I'm going to just duplicate this bar again. So I'm going to copy this div, paste it down here, and I'm going to just change this text to web design. And the percentage is going to be 95%. We have 95% scale of web designing. Then I'm going to change this percentage of width. I'm going to change this width to 95%. Save the changes. We have the scale here. Now what I want to add some space between these bars. So I'm going to use margin for that. So I'm going to add margin bottom 4. I'm going to use the same class to the second right here and to the third division tag. So this will add some space between these scales. Now the last thing, we need to add some background color to this ability section, as well as I want to remove the space between this progress bar and this text. So I'm going to just open my index.html file. In the style.css, right down here, select my scale, then select the bars, then select the paragraph. Along with that, I'm going to select site content, scale, bars, and the span tag. And I'm going to just specify here line height is going to be 10 pixels. Save the changes. When I save the changes, as you can notice, I'm going to just remove some space between this progress bar and this text. Now at the last, I'm going to specify some background color to this section. So I'm going to back to my index.html. To this ability section, I'm going to specify bg light, which is a Bootstrap class, to specify light color to this background. When I save the changes, you can notice I have this light color to this background. Now as you can see, the skill section is now completely ready. Let's move on to the next section. And in this section, we're going to create these beautiful services. where we have the web design, development, photography, marketing, full responsive and art direction services, which we are going to provide. If you want to change the services, you are free to change it. Now let me show you how to create this beautiful services section. So I'm going to just minimize this ability section, and down here I'm going to create services. I'm going to create a new command and say services. I'm going to close this command. So I'm going to say here services like this, create a section tag with the class services, or you can just say here services area. Let's create here a division tag with the class do. You can specify any name to this class, that's depend on you. Now just for that, in this div I'm going to simply copy these two headings. So I'm going to copy these headings from this ability section, paste it down here inside these services, change it to what I do, just like this, and then I'm going to specify title here services. Save the changes, back to the website, and you can notice we have this services section here. I'm going to just add padding to it. So I'm going to add padding x4 and padding y5. So this will add some padding to this section, just like this. And to this div, to this do class, I'm going to specify padding y5. This will add some padding to this title. Just out of this div, right here, I'm going to create a row, and inside this row I'm going to create different columns. So I'm going to create my first column with a class called md4. So I'm going to specify 4 column space to this division tag. When the viewport is less than the medium size of devices, I want to specify 6 column space to this division tag. So I'm going to say here call sm6. When the viewport is for small size of devices, I'm going to specify 6 column space to this div, and the viewport is equal to the medium size of devices, I'm going to specify 4 column space to this div. Just for that, I'm going to specify here margin bottom 4 and text center class to center all the text. In this div, I'm going to create a panel. So I'm going to say here panel. I'm going to add border to this panel. So I'm going to add a Bootstrap class border. You can notice we have border to this panel. So I'm going to add border, and then I'm going to add padding 4. So this will add top, bottom, left and right padding. In this div, I'm going to add a span tag and specify classes to it. So I'm going to simply first specify class to this span tag and say icon text secondary. I'm going to use my custom class icon. If you want to access this span tag, you can access it using this icon class. Inside this span tag, I'm going to add I tag to add icon, and then specify class to it as fa laptop, and I want to increase the size of this icon, so I'm going to use fa3x class. Save the changes, back to the website. You can notice I have this laptop icon here. Just out of that, just out of this span tag, right down here, I'm going to add h4 heading tag, and I want to add a class to it, to this h4 heading tag. So I'm going to add a class which is font ram and padding y4. So this will add top and bottom padding to this h4 heading tag, and then I'm going to specify text web design. Just out of that, I'm going to add a paragraph and add some classes to it. Well, I'm going to add font family to this paragraph, which is font ram, then add font size is going to be 16, then add text black 15. So I'm going to add my global classes font ram and font size 16, and then I'm going to add Bootstrap class text black 50 to change the color of this paragraph. And inside this paragraph, I'm going to add some demo text. So I'm going to copy some demo text and paste it inside this paragraph. Save the changes. You can notice the first service is now ready. Now what I want to create few more services. So simply I can copy this column and paste it down here. I have my second service just like this. So I'm going to just change this text. So I'm going to say here development and change this icon. I'm going to change this icon to FA light bulb. Save the changes. You can notice I have the development service with this bulb icon. Just out of that, I'm going to copy this column, paste it down here, change this text, and I'm going to say here photography, and I'm going to just change this icon, and the icon is going to be FA camera. Save the changes, and I'm going to have my third service as well. I'm going to do the same. Copy this column, paste it down here, change this text, and I'm going to say here marketing. If you want, you can specify your own services, whatever you want. That's all depends on you. Then I'm going to change this icon to FA chart line. So this will add a marketing icon just like this. Then I'm going to copy this column, paste it down here, change this text to fully responsive, change this icon as well, and I'm going to say here FA mobile alt. Save the changes. You have responsive service, and then I'm gonna copy this column at the last time, paste it down here, and just change this text, and I'm gonna say here art direction, and I'm gonna just change this icon, and I'm gonna say here FA directions. Save the changes. You can notice I have my services ready. It's really very simple to create different services. If you want to add different colors to these icons, you can do that as well. That's all legal. Just out of these services, we have the reference section. In this section, we have 3 images. So to create this references section, I'm going to just minimize the services and create these references right here. The very easiest section of this website is references. We are just going to add 3 columns and put images inside it. That's it. Let me show you how to create these references in just a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to first create here command and just say reference, and just close this command using hash, just like this. Create here section, specify class to it, reference, and I want to add background color to it. So I'm going to say BG light background color, and then I'm going to specify padding by 5. This will add top and bottom padding. Then I'm going to add padding X 4. This will add left and right padding, and inside it I'm going to add a division tag with the class refer, and I want to add class to it, padding by 3. And in this div, I'm going to just copy these headings from the services. I'm going to copy this H5 and H1 heading tag, paste it down here, save all the changes back to the website, and here we have the text. So I'm going to just change this text to my reference, and I'm going to just change this text to references, just like this. Just after this div, I'm going to create a row and specify margin bottom 5. In this row, I'm going to create 3 columns. So I'm going to say here call SM4. So I'm going to specify 4 column space to this division tag, and in this div, I'm going to simply add image tag and specify my image here. So I'm going to select the asset folder, then select the refer folder, and then I'm going to select the image. And I'm going to say here refer1, specify class img fluid to make this image responsive, and then I'm going to just save the changes. When I save the changes, you can notice I have this image here. I'm going to just add some margin to this division tag. I'm going to add margin by 3. I'm going to copy this column, paste it down here, and paste it down here, and just change this image to refer 2, and this became refer 3. Save all the changes, and as you can see, the references is now ready. let's move on to the next section, and this is the creative work section. Let me show you how to create this beautiful creative work. So I'm going to just minimize these references. Down here I'm going to create a command and say work, close this command, and I'm going to just close this command with the work. And I'm going to create here a new section with the class work, as well as I'm going to add some classes to it. I'm going to add padding y5. This will add top and bottom padding, and add padding x4 to add left and right padding. So in this section, I'm going to first create here a division tag, and I'm going to add padding to it. I'm going to add padding 3. This will add top and bottom padding to this division tag, and inside it, I'm going to specify these titles. So I'm going to copy these titles and paste it inside this div, just like this. Change this text, and I'm going to add here portfolio, and this text became creative work. When you're back to your website, you have your creative work here. Then I'm going to just back to my index.html, and just out of this division tag, just out of this div, I'm going to create a new row. Inside this row, I'm going to create column. So I'm going to say col sm4. So I'm going to specify 4 column space to this div and add some padding to it. I'm going to add padding bottom 4. This will add bottom padding to this div, and inside it I'm going to add image. I'm going to select the image. I'm going to first select the asset folder, then I'm going to select the work folder and select my first image. In the alt attribute, I'm going to say work1, and don't forget to specify class to it to make this image responsive. I'm going to add img fluid to make this image responsive. When I save the changes, you can notice we have the first image. Just copy this column, change this image. This will create the second image. Then we have the third image. Just copy this column, paste it again, change this image to image 3. Then we have the third image. I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to copy these columns just like this and change these images like this. 7. Then I'm going to just copy it. This one became 8, and this one became 9. Save the changes, and now you can see we have, oops, I think we only have 6 images. We just need to remove these 3 like this. Yeah, that's right. Now as you can see, the creative work is now ready. If you have more images, you can just copy this column and paste it again, and just specify image whatever you want. Now as you can see, the creative work is now completely ready. Now let's move on to the last section, which is latest news. In this section, we are going to use the Bootstrap card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply minimize this work section and add here command and just say news, and just close this command using the closing news. And now let's start creating this new section. Now to create this latest news section, I'm going to use Bootstrap cards. So I'm going to simply use Bootstrap card to create this latest news section. So I'm going to simply open my index.html, and inside it I'm going to create here a section, a new section, and I'm going to just add here class news. I'm going to add some Bootstrap classes as well, padding y5 to add top and bottom padding, and padding x4 to add left and right padding. Then I'm going to add bg light class to specify light color to this background. Just like this, we have this background color to this latest new section. Then I'm going to just add here a division tag with the class padding y3. So this will add some padding to these titles. So I'm going to add this title. So I'm going to just copy this h5 and h1 heading tag from the work section and paste it down here. I'm going to change this text to read, and this became latest news. When I save the changes, I'm going to have here latest news section. Now just after this division tag right down here, I'm going to have a row, and inside this row, I'm going to have columns. So I'm going to create here a column, call SM4, and I'm going to add margin to it, margin Y3. So this will add top and bottom margin to this division tag. Now, as you can notice, I have 4 column space to this division tag. Now, inside this div, I'm going to create Bootstrap cards. So to create a card, just create a division tag with the card class. I don't want to add any border to this card, so I'm going to use Bootstrap class border 0. This will remove all the borders from these cards. Then I'm going to add img tag and specify my image here. So I'm going to select news folder and select my image. And the alt attribute is going to be news1. And I'm going to specify class to it, which is a Bootstrap class card img top. Save the changes. You can notice we have this image here. Just out of that, just after this image, I'm going to create here a division tag with a Bootstrap class card body. And in this div, you need to specify the body of this card. So I'm going to specify paragraph here. And in the paragraph, I'm going to say in, and I'm going to add here b tag to bold the text. And then I'm going to say here lifestyle. And to this b tag, I'm going to specify class, text uppercase, and text dark. Along with that, I'm going to add some classes to this paragraph as well. So I'm going to add class, and to this paragraph, I'm going to add font ram, then add font size 16, and text black 50. So the first 2 classes is the global classes. I will use the first class, this one font ram, to specify font family. This class is used to specify font size 16, and I'm going to specify Bootstrap class text black 50 to specify light color to this text. Save all the changes, and you have here text. Then I'm going to just add here, just out of this paragraph, I'm going to add h5 heading tag and specify class to it. And I'm going to specify class card title. This is a Bootstrap class, and then add font ram. And in this h5 heading tag, I'm going to say responsive design. Save the changes. I'm going to have this title here. Then I'm going to add a paragraph again. And I'm going to add class to this paragraph, which is card text and text black 50. So I'm going to add both these Bootstrap classes to this paragraph. And in this paragraph, I'm going to add some demo text. So I'm going to copy some demo text and paste it here. Save the changes. You can notice I have the demo text here. As you can notice, the first card is now ready. Now let me create my second card. So I'm going to copy this column, paste it down here, change this text, and I'm going to say here Bootstrap framework, and I'm going to change this image to image 2. Save the changes. This will create the second news. Then I'm going to copy this column, paste it down here, change this image to image 3, and this text is going to be animation effects. Save the changes, and now you have your third news. It's very simple to create these 3 cards using Bootstrap, right? Now, as you can see, the latest news is now completely ready. Now let's move on to the last section of this main tag, which is the footer. In the footer, I'm going to have the title, then we have some description about the website, phone number, fax, email address, and mailbox, and the social icons. So let me show you how to create this beautiful footer for this website. So I'm going to just back to my website and minimize this section, and down here I'm going to create a footer tag. I'm not going to separate this footer from this main because I'm using this footer in this 9 column space division tag. If you separate this footer from the main tag, the footer will take whole space of this window, and you need to specify offset 3 to that footer again. So instead of separating this footer from this main tag, I'm going to just create footer inside this main. To create this beautiful footer, I'm going to start with a footer tag. In HTML5, we have a dedicated tag for the footer, which is footer tag. So I'm going to use that footer tag right here inside this main tag. So I'm going to add here footer, and if you want you can add ID to it. I'm going to add ID to this footer. I'm going to add class. Padding top is going to be 5 and padding X is going to 3. Inside this footer I'm going to create division tag and I'm going to specify ID to this div. So I'm going to add ID. So I'm going to simply add hash and specify contact us. So when I press tab, I'm going to have a division tag with the ID contact us. So as you can notice, I'm going to create this contact us section. So inside this contact us, I'm going to create a division tag with the class padding Y 3 and padding X 2. So I'm going to add top and bottom padding 3 and left and right padding 2. And inside it, I'm going to add this title. So I'm going to simply copy this title from this new section. So I'm going to copy this H5 and H1 heading tag and paste it inside this footer and change this text. So I'm going to change it to location and this became contact us. Save the changes and back to the website. You can notice I have this title just out of this div. Right down here I'm going to create here a row and I want to add padding to it. So I'm going to add padding Y 5 to add some space to the top and bottom to this div. And inside it I'm going to create 2 columns. So I'm going to first create col sm6. So I'm going to specify 6 column space to this division tag and I'm going to duplicate this div just like this. So I'm going to create 2 division tag with 6 column space. So in the first column I'm going to add this section and in the second column I'm going to have this mailbox section. So in the first column right here I'm going to first add H6 heading tag and I'm going to just add here this name, the company name. So I'm going to add here aka company Inc. Save the changes, back to the website, and you can see here we have this name. I'm going to just add some classes to it. I'm going to add class text uppercase, then add font ram, then add font size 16 and add text dark. Save all the changes. This will just transform this text to uppercase just like this. Then I'm going to add a paragraph here inside this div. I'm going to add a paragraph, and for this paragraph I'm going to add classes font ram, then I'm going to add width which is going to be 50, and then I'm going to add font size is going to be 16 and the text is going to be text black 50. So this will just change this text color using this Bootstrap class. Now in the paragraph I'm going to copy some description of this website. So I'm going to copy some demo text from anywhere and paste it inside this paragraph. So I'm going to have the description of this website. Just out of this paragraph down here I'm going to just add another paragraph and I'm going to add classes to it. So I'm going to add font ram, then add font size is going to be 16 and then add text black 50. And inside this paragraph I'm going to just specify my phone number. So I'm going to just add here in the capital letters. I'm going to say phone and just specify here a phone number. I'm going to add some demo phone number here, 650-444-1234. Save the changes and I'm going to have my phone number here. I'm going to copy this paragraph 2 times and just change this text, and right here I'm going to specify fax and just specify fax number. So I'm going to just specify here +1 650-444 like this. Just out of that I'm going to just change this text in the capital letters and specify my email here, info@dailyinc.com. I'm going to duplicate this paragraph again and change this text to address, and I'm going to just specify some demo address here. So I'm going to just copy some demo text and paste it here. Save the changes you can notice I have information about this website here. Now what I want to add some padding between this description and this phone number. So I'm going to add here padding top 3. Save the changes. This will add some padding here like this. Now just after that, I'm going to just back to the second column where we have this mailbox. So I'm going to simply back to the second column. I'm going to just specify 6 column space to this second column as well. To this div, I'm going to first specify padding y4 and padding is going to be 4. In this div, I'm going to specify h6 heading tag. I'm going to specify class to it, text uppercase, then add font ram, and then add font size is going to be 16. And I'm going to just say here get in touch. Save the changes. I'm going to have this get in touch here. Then just out of this h6 heading tag, I'm going to add here form tag. I'm not going to add anything in this action attribute. I will leave this action attribute as it is and create a class here. And to this class, I'm going to specify padding y3. So I'm going to add top and bottom padding to this form tag, and inside it, I'm going to create a row. Now inside this row, I'm going to create 2 columns. I'm not going to specify any value to this column. Instead, I'm going to just say here call. So when I create 2 columns here, just like this will just take the equal width. Now in the first column, I'm going to add input type text. Then I'm going to specify class to it, form control, which is a Bootstrap class. And I'm going to specify placeholder. And I'm going to specify placeholder here name. Save the changes, back to the website. And you can notice we have this name text box here. Just out of that, you can notice I have this email text box. So I'm going to copy this text, paste it inside this second column of this row, and change this type. I'm going to say here email, change this placeholder to email, and save all the changes. You can notice I have this email text box here as well. Once we have the name and the email in the mailbox, I'm going to just add a message here. So I'm going to just add this message text area in this mailbox section. So I'm going to just back to my index.html, and down here, just after this row, right down here, I'm going to add text area. I will leave everything as it is and add a class to this text area, and I'm going to say here form control. So I'm going to add a Bootstrap class, form control. Along with that, I'm going to add a placeholder, which is message. Save the changes, and I'm going to have here the text area control, right? What I want to add some margin to this text area control. So I'm going to add here to this class, I'm going to add margin y4. So this will add some space between these input text boxes. Now, just out of that, I'm going to add a button right down here, just out of this text area. I'm going to add a submit button. So I'm going to add here button submit, and to this button, I'm going to specify class btn dark. So I'm going to just specify dark background to this button, and I'm going to say hello to this text. So I'm going to just add a text, say hello. Save the changes, and as you can notice, I have here say hello. Now just out of that, what I want to style this form and make it more attractive. So I'm going to just add some styling to this form. So I'm going to open this style.css file, and down here I'm going to just say footer. So I'm going to add ID of footer, then select the form, then select the row, and then select column. So I'm going to say call and select the input, and it's a type of text. So I'm going to say input type text. I'm going to select all the inputs inside this form tag which has a type text. Then I'm going to just copy this line, paste it down here, and just change this type, and I'm going to say here email. Then I'm going to paste the selector again, and now I'm going to select the text area control, just like this. So at the same time, I'm going to style text area control and input text boxes. So I'm going to add here border none. I'm going to remove the border from the input text boxes. Then I'm going to add border radius 0, Then I'm gonna say border bottom is going to be 1 pixel solid gray. Just out of that, I'm gonna add some padding to it, and padding is going to be 1.5 rem to the top and bottom and 1 rem to the left and the right. Save all the changes. When you save all the changes, you can notice we have different styling to this form control. Now you can notice the style is not applied to this text area because this text area is not in this row. So I'm going to get rid of this row, save all the changes. You can notice this style is now applied to this text area as well. Now as you can notice, we have 2 or minimum 3 rows to this text area control. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just remove this extra space. So I'm going to back to my index.html and to the text area. You can notice I have here rows 10. I'm going to remove 10 from it and specify 3 here. Save the changes. I only want 3 rows. So as you can notice, I only have here 3 rows. Now just out of that, I'm going to create this beautiful social icon section. So to create this section, minimize this form tag, and just after this row, I'm going to create another row here and specify a background color to it. So I'm going to specify BG light color to it and specify padding Y 5. So I'm going to specify background color and top and bottom padding to this division tag. Now keep in mind, we added this division tag just after this row. Just out of that, I'm going to create here 3 columns. So the first column has 4 column space. So I'm going to say here col sm4. So this is my first column, and to this column I'm going to specify margin Y 5. This will add top and bottom margin to this division tag, and I'm going to center all the text. So I'm going to say text center. Inside this div, I'm going to add h6 heading tag and just add a copyright symbol. So I'm going to add @ copy and just specify semicolon here. So this will simply add the copyright symbol inside this website. Save the changes and back to the website. You can notice here I have the copyright symbol here. Now once we have the copyright symbol, I'm going to say copyright 2020, then specify the website name, then say all rights reserved. And for this h6 heading tag, specify a class, font ram, font size is going to be 16, and specify text color. So I'm going to say here text black 50. Save the changes, and here you have your copyright text. Now let's move on and create a next column. So I'm going to say here col sm4. I'm going to specify 4 column space to this division tag, and I just wanted to add some margin to it. So I'm going to add here margin Y4 and add text center class. So I'm going to add all the text to the center and add top and bottom margin to this division tag. Now in this column, I'm going to add the title of this website and the name. I'm going to just simply add here a division tag with the class footer title, and I'm going to just add here text light, and in this div I'm going to add anchor tag and specify here website name, just like this. And to this anchor tag I'm going to specify class navbar brand, then specify font stat, font size is going to be 40, and specify text color is going to be dark. I'm going to just remove this text light from this div because I want to use text dark color to this title. So I'm going to just get rid of this class from this division tag. Save the changes, and now you can see we have the website title here. Then I'm going to create here paragraph, and I'm going to just display my name here, and I'm going to just add some classes to this paragraph and say description, font OS, which is the font family, font size is going to be 16, and I'm going to just change the color of this text. So I'm going to say here text black 50, and I want to convert this text into uppercase, so I'm going to say text uppercase. Save the changes, back to the website, and you can notice we have the title. Now in the third column, just out of this second column right here, I'm going to create col sm4, specify margin to it, margin Y 5, Then specify text center to center all the text. And in this column, I'm going to add my social icons. So instead of creating social icons here, I have the social icons in the header. So I'm going to just back to my header. Right here, I have these social icons. I'm going to copy these social icons and paste it in the footer like this. Save the changes. As you can see, we have the social icons here. Now, as you can notice, the website is now completely ready from the top to bottom. It looks amazing, right? Now, what I want to add some finishing touch to this website. So I'm going to just remove this toggle button when the viewport is greater than 768 pixel. And if you just try to click on these text boxes, you can't do that because this navigation menu not allows you to click on these text boxes because we have the higher value to the Z index property of this header. So we need to solve this problem. So I'm going to just back to my index.html. In the style.css, I'm going to just add here a media query for this button. So I'm going to first remove this button from the viewport greater than 768 pixel. So I'm going to simply add here @media and say screen, and I'm going to say mean width is going to be 768 pixel. So if the minimum width of the window is 768 pixel, I'm going to just say here toggle button, and I'm going to specify display none. So if the viewport is greater than 768 pixel, I want to display this toggle button, and if the viewport is less than 768 pixel, I want to hide this toggle button. So you can see I don't have this toggle button now. So if I just change the viewport, if I just open the inspect tool, take a look at this viewport. So if the viewport is less than 768 pixel, I'm going to have this toggle button here. Let me just decrease this viewport. Right? You can notice I have this toggle button here when the viewport is less than 768 pixel. And if the viewport is greater than that, this will just remove this toggle button, and I'm going to have my sidebar here. Now, just out of that, I want to just change this Z index property of this header, so I can click on these input text boxes. So I'm going to just back to the top. Right here, you can notice I just specify the higher value to this Z index property. I'm going to specify here -1. Save all the changes. Nothing will change, but you can click on these text boxes now. Now you can interact with this main section. Now when you specify -1 to this Z index property, you can't access this header. You can notice I just specify the hover effect on these navigation links, but this is not working now. To solve this problem, you need to just specify here, instead of specifying -1, just specify 0. Save all the changes, and now the navigation menu is now completely ready, and you can click on these text boxes. Now, just out of that, when I click on this about section, I want to automatically scroll the scroll bar at the about us section. Let me show you what I want. Back to my finished website. When I click on these services, this will automatically scroll to the services section. When I click on this contact us, this will automatically scroll to the contact us section. And when I click on the home menu, this will move me to the home section. So I just want to add this effect to this website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just back to my index.html, minimize everything just like this. Now let me explain this home ID. Now as you can notice, when I click on this home, this will automatically scroll to the home section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just open the header, and to this anchor tag for this home, in the href attribute, I'm going to just specify hash home. So I'm going to just specify ID of this section in this anchor tag. So when we click on this anchor tag, this will automatically navigate us to this banner section. I'm going to do the same for these sections as well. So for the about me section, right here, I'm going to specify ID about me, and I'm going to specify this ID to this anchor tag, right? Then I'm going to just specify here to this ability section, I'm going to specify ID services. When I click on the services, I want to display this ability first and then display the services. So I'm going to say here services, and I'm going to specify this services ID in this anchor tag, just like this. Don't forget to specify hash before this ID, right? Now, just out of that, for the portfolio, I'm going to just specify here to this work. I'm going to say here ID portfolio. Copy this ID and paste it to this anchor tag. Then I'm going to specify ID to this news section, and I'm going to say here ID news. Copy this ID, paste it to this anchor tag, and I'm going to just specify ID to this footer, and we already have this ID to this footer, so I'm going to copy this ID and specify to the last anchor tag. Save all the changes, and now when I click on these anchor tags, this will navigate me to the specific section. So if I just click on this portfolio, this will just open the portfolio section, and if I click on this contact us, this will open the footer of this website. But now what I want to add some smooth effect to this scrolling. So when I click on these services, I want to smoothly scroll to the top and display the services section. So to add this beautiful effect, I will just back to my index.js file, and right here I'm going to add some vanilla JavaScript. So right down here in the index.js file, I'm going to add vanilla JavaScript. So I'm going to say document.querySelector all, and I'm going to select all the anchor tags which has href attribute, and in the href attribute it has hash symbol, just like this. So if I have hash to the href attribute, I'm going to select all that anchor tags, and then I'm going to add here for each, I'm going to select all these anchor tags. So I'm going to say here anchor, and in this function I'm going to create click events. So I'm going to say here anchor dot add event listener, and I'm going to just call here click event, and just specify the handler function. So I'm going to say here function, then call event parameter, and in this function I'm going to say e dot prevent default. So I'm going to just prevent the default execution of this click event, and then I'm going to say here document.querySelector, and I'm going to say here in the parenthesis of this query selector, I'm going to say this. It means I'm going to select this current anchor tag dot get attribute, and in the parenthesis I'm going to say href. I'm going to get the href attribute of the anchor tag, and I'm going to call here a method scroll into view. Now this method will help us to add smooth effect to the anchor tag when we click on it. So when I click on the anchor tag, I want the smooth effect. So I'm going to just add here a property behavior, and I'm going to just say here single quote and say smooth. So I'm going to specify value to this property smooth. Save everything. Don't forget to specify semicolons. Save all the changes. Now when I click on these links, oops, nothing is happening. I think something is went wrong. Right here, I just add here intro. It's into scroll into view. When I save the changes, when I click on the home link, this will automatically smoothly move to the home section, and when I click on this portfolio, this will easily scroll to the portfolio section, and this will automatically scroll to the footer section. So I'm going to have this smooth effect to these navigation links. Now this website is now completely ready, but let me just check this website for other devices. For example, let me just check this website for mobile and tablet devices. So let me just open the inspect tool, Control Shift I to open the inspect tool, and first I will open the large laptop viewport. So you know that this website is responsive for the laptops, for the large viewport. Let me just decrease viewport width and just open the tablet viewport. As you can see, if I open the 766 pixel viewport, this website is responsive, right? This website is responsive for the tablet as well. And if I open the mobile viewport, the small mobile viewport, you can notice this website is completely responsive. Now you can see this website is completely responsive for any devices. As simple as that. Now I hope you learned many things from this website. Before you finish this website, make sure you check out my Patreon page to support me for this free content. If you find anything useful, then like this video and share it. If you have any question, don't forget to ask me in the comment section of this video. That is all for now. I will see you in the next one.